Hello, Justine D'Andrea here with Bible Journaling Ministries creative team, and this month we are working on 1 Thessalonians 5:18, Give Thanks. And we are using the printables that you received in Momentum, and if you're not part of Momentum, then you can purchase these at the store at BibleJournalingMinistries.com. And I love these colors that we're going to be using today. And if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. So as I said, here are the printables that we'll be using on the page here. And I'm going to show you a few different techniques today. We're going to do something with baby oil. So you will need your printables and baby oil. We're also going to need some acrylic paints today that match to the best that you can the printables. Paintbrush, maybe a Posca pen or just a marker, a black detail marker. A pencil with an eraser. Again, a thin brush. It could be a liner brush if you want. And then a flat brush. This is a number 8. 6 or 8 would probably work well. And then you'll need a couple small leaves from your backyard or your front yard. And I will show you those in 1 second. Okay, so here are the leaves that I'm choosing to use. And then I think that's all we need for our page. So let's go ahead and get started on the page. So I told you that we were going to do a couple techniques today, and one of them is working with some baby oil. So you'll grab baby oil. You don't need this big of a bottle. When I ordered it, I ordered too big of a bottle. And then you can use well, I wouldn't use a paintbrush. I mean, I guess you could if you're not worried about oils getting on it, but I'm just going to use a makeup sponge. You could probably use a cotton ball. I think that would work well too. I grabbed a couple pieces of scrap paper, so I'm just going to have that. And then the printables here. So I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to grab this one, this printable. And I don't know if you've seen this trick before or not, but it is an awesome trick to make your graphics into Vellum. So this is actually what it's going to do. It's going to make it into Vellum. You can see through here, let's see, that it's like a Vellum looking piece of paper. It's really cool. Here too, you can see right through the paper. See that? And all you need to do is grab some baby oil and dump it on your page. This is the easiest way I found. And just, well, maybe you don't need that much, but all over the whole entire page, you just want to smell. I'm smelling the baby oils. I haven't smelled this smell since my kids were little when we used baby oil on them, but just a generous amount. I mean, you didn't have to go that crazy. I kind of went a little crazy, but make sure you get your whole paper that you want to have it a vellum effect, and then all you do is let it sit overnight. Let it sit, and it will dry up. It's as easy as that. So you let it sit overnight, and it will turn into this beautiful vellum paper. So I thought that was a really cool trick that I learned, and I wanted to pass that on to you. and we're going to go ahead and use it in our journaling today. I'll be working in my Illustrating Bible today, which is the bigger paged Bible that gives you a little bit more room to do artwork. And I'm using white gesso instead of clear because of the bleed through from the printing of the book. For this particular page, I don't want it to be seen for all the techniques that we're going to be doing. Normally, I honestly don't gesso my page, and we normally would tell you to use clear gesso. But depending what you want to do, the white gesso kind of acts as a more of a barrier, not so much a protection. It prepares your page more to do some artwork. And I'm just applying it with a makeup sponge again. Sometimes I use my finger, but makeup sponge works really well. What also helps is to protect your work area, and I always forget that. If I had a dollar for every time I forgot to protect my workspace on my Bible, I'd be a rich woman right now. But you should always protect your pages because you don't want to get paint or anything like that on your other pages. So I'm liberally going to go ahead and apply the white gesso, and then I'm going to grab my heat gun and go ahead and I am going to dry this up quickly because I want to be able to continue working. And I like to dry both sides of the paper. I think for me personally it helps to reduce the wrinkles, because when you're using gesso, your pages are going to get wrinkled. I think over time though too, with the book clothes, they actually kind of go down, but I know that some people have ironed their pages. Completely up to you what you'd like to do, but for me, just using my heat gun and it'll be fine. So my leaves I have on my plate, and I'm gonna grab 3 different colors. I think I'm gonna grab some yellow that I think matches the printable, and you just need a little bit, you don't need a lot. A blue, so we got a yellow, a blue, you could use brown. I'm going to grab some orange and some blue, or a different shade of blue. Okay, this one's more of a teal color. So I got the darker blue, the lighter blue. You could use a little bit of brown. I wouldn't do more than 4 colors though. So this comes the fun part. We're going to go ahead and paint in little areas the paint. Now, like as always I say, you can go ahead and try the technique on a separate piece of paper before putting it in your Bible. And I'm not even going to rinse out my brush as I go. I do wipe it a little bit, but the fun part is just playing with the colors, letting them mix a little bit. I would start with the lighter colors first and then add the darker colors to the leaf also. And we're just going to do some leaf printing. And I'm going to use my fingers at first, but then I'm going to get my brayer and I want to see. There is a difference. I don't know. This one I have too much. I think I have too much. But don't forget to do second generation, which means take the brayer and go over it. See, that's kind of more of the look that I think I want it. But that big blotchy one is definitely going to be covered up. Again, I'm going to start with a lighter color. and go to a darker, and so on. And you don't have to use all 4 colors at one time. You can mix them all up. I haven't done leaf printing. Oh my goodness, I don't even remember the last time I've done leaf printing. And then, maybe using different styles. I grabbed that more pointier leaf to have different styles. And you can make them bigger if you want. There's no reason why you have to use small ones. You know the drill. Just have fun and do your thing. I'm probably not going to fill the whole page up with the leaves, but I did notice that as I'm using the leaves, the veins of one side, like right now I'm using the flat surface of the leaf, which is okay to use because it'll print differently than the back of the leaf, but the back of the leaf, you'll see as I'm using it, will be more obviously veiny and a different look. And using the pressure of your finger as opposed to the brayer is definitely different too. But this kind of just reminds me of fall, reminds me of my childhood, just having some fun with some pressings. Okay, I gotta admit, I'm yawning. I don't know why I'm yawning. Oh my goodness. I guess I need more coffee. I'm such a transparent person, it's not funny. But enjoy having fun using your different leaves. The verse we're doing, 1 Thessalonians 5:18, and everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus towards you. I'm more here to do techniques, so I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'm just thinking about, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this time of the year and giving thanks. And the first person that we should be giving thanks to all year is God. And thanking Him every day for all the blessings, good and bad. I mean, sometimes we think some of the blessings we get are not good, but He knows what He's doing. And even though we get in the way, it's ultimately His plan and what He wants for us. So just remember to take time each day and give a little thanks to the Lord. decided that I wanted to frame up my page. So I'm just going to lightly paint some color around the edges of my Bible, making sure I have my protector still on my Bible, because this particular part I will definitely get paint on my other pages. So this just will act as a frame, and I'm going to paint some blue and some other colors. Maybe even mix two colors together, like. And again, as you notice, I have not rinsed my brush. It kind of makes it more authentic, more, I don't know, not so clean. And you just go through until you like the way it looks. And then I'm just taking my brush, and I wanted a little bit of color to the background of the page, to just a little bit of hints of color, because wherever I decide to put my vellum pieces, a little bit of the background color of the leaves and of the paint is going to show through, and you'll see that towards the end as we go ahead and put on the vellum pieces. And remember, the vellum pieces are dried overnight. And I probably should have mentioned, I just copied them on regular copy paper. And then I cut out. And the really cool thing is, and I've said this before in videos, that you get so many graphics, so many different sizes, and that you can do several Bibles and still do your Faith Ducks cards. So I think that's awesome. But I really just like the texture and just the way that the vellum looks. And as you can see in that one tab part there that I'm holding, that you'll see through it. And I'm using just wet glue. But see, you can see right through to the background color that I had. So it just kind of adds to it. I love that effect. And then I'm going to go ahead and group the pumpkins and the bird together. And at this point, if you feel like you want to add some more leaves, you still have time to do that. But what I'm deciding to do is go ahead and I'm adding some brown, and we're going to make the branch that's in the printable, because I wanted it to be bigger. I wanted it to be present, but I also wanted it to be bigger on my page. So we're just going to make a branch and then some of the berries on it. So we'll use some of that darker blue and maybe some white, and we'll see how it goes. So there's the berry plant we're going to do. And I'm going to actually just mix a little bit of the lighter brown and the darker brown to kind of give it a highlight, a natural looking, and you can go back through and add more if you want. So just refer to the picture of the graphic. I mean, you can definitely use the graphic in it too, but just paint some tree branch looking things. And you do that by just lightly maybe pressing down and pulling up a little bit, because that makes it, when you press down, it makes a thicker line, and then when you pull up, it thins the line out. So that's how you do those cool little lines that gradually go thin. Again, you can practice it on a separate piece of paper. And then I'm going to use the yellow, the yellow, and I think I'm going to grab some green. And I think we've done this before in a previous video, where you're using your flat brush and you're kind of twisting as you come up. It's just a little twist. So you're pressing down on the paper, and then you're just giving it a cute little kiss twist, I'll call it. And you're just letting the two colors, the green and the yellow, mix together. You don't want to rinse your brush. You just kind of want to go through and add those little leaves to your branch. Then we're going to take the end of the eraser. Now this is an eraser that has not been used. It still has the roundness to it, and we're just going to place dots. And you can do groupings, or you can do keep them separate. And you can do first and second generation, because what you can come through, what we'll do is go through and use our paintbrush, and if there's areas that we want more blue to, we can add it with our paintbrush. But this is a nice way to get clear circles from, because sometimes I have a hard time doing circles. Then I'm going to add just a couple little ones with my paintbrush, and I'm not really worried that if they're completely round or whatever. And then we'll go ahead and grab some white or some of the lighter blue, and then add some highlights to your berries. Just a quick little highlight, very light touch with your paintbrush. Dry them up right away so that we can go ahead and glue on the elements, because I'm impatient. Again, I like to use white glue. You don't have to use white glue. You can go ahead and use a glue stick. Although actually, I don't know how a glue stick will work on the oil, because remember that this we've made into a vellum. And I'm using the 3 pumpkins, laying the yellow and the greenish one down first, then the oblong one, the bird, and I've cut out give thanks, and the leaves. Now I was gonna put them up top on my page, but then I kind of felt like it was just too much, like having the full page, so I wanted to balance it a little bit more. So I'm going to put it in the down onto the left hand corner. Again, just using the white glue. Now white glue, this particular glitter glue, dries very fast, so I am gonna place it down where I think I might want it, and you'll have to kind of work quickly with it. You'll see here I decided to move it. Thank God I was able to move it. And as I said earlier, you can go ahead and add, if you find areas that are a little bit too white that you don't want, you can go ahead and add some more of your paint pressed leaves into it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it helps you, give you some techniques, new techniques maybe to try out. I always enjoy watching other people's videos to see what techniques I can add to my Bibles. I like to outline not everything, but some things on my page, just to have them stand out a little bit more. And when I outline, I don't worry about getting it all straight and all that. I'm very loose when I create. I really kind of I spend the time with the Holy Spirit and let him do what he wants. I did decide to do some thicker lines, so I have thick lines and thin lines going on around there. Again, like and subscribe so that you can see, get notifications of our new videos that are coming out. And I hope that you enjoy this, and if you do decide to do this, that you'll share it to the page. I hope that you have been blessed, and stay well.